Hey everybody, happy Monday. Welcome out there in YouTube world to Stinky Robot Studios. I'm Michael Smell and we are here live for another Monday drawing session. Here on this channel we go live Monday through Friday, but we're going to make a few changes next week, so pay attention. We'll be going over those as well. There can be some time changes. But yeah, here on this channel we do a live drawing pretty much from start to finish. And normally takes a few hours to complete. I do hope you'll join along, grab a pencil and paper and draw with me if you wish to. I'd like to see a small community of artists kind of pop up here. No matter what your skill level, whether you're an amateur, a medium artist, or you've been professional artist for a long time and you just want to, brush up on your talents and push your own abilities, and this channel's for you. Welcome, welcome. Also today on this live stream, we're going to be going over entry forms for our giveaway. We're real close to 100 subscribers. We are just teetering on the edge. I think if we're on live today, we're at 96 subscribers, so we're listing 4 of you. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, right down there, after you hit that thumbs up button, tag that subscription as well. And if you wish, a bell notification will let you know whenever I go live on this channel, so you can join us here at Stinky Robot. And yeah, follow along and do some art. And of course I call myself Stinky Robot because I do a lot of robots. So expect me to draw many robots. That's what I do in my own personal art. And to better my own career, I will do lots of robots and I'll draw the occasional animal because that's something else I do paint. But you at home, if you want to draw along, draw whatever you want to. Draw a house, draw a church, draw your mother-in-law, draw a squirrel, draw a, anything you want to. Hey, what's going on, WT? Welcome to the channel. Oh, by the way, check your email. I have responded to you. I do apologize it took so long. Did not see the email. It kind of slid through the cracks, but there's an email there waiting for you. Anyways, back to the channel. So, as many know that we've been following the channel for a while, we are kind of, we're young and we're kind of just starting this whole live stream journey, I should say. So, we have been trying to figure out the best streaming times. I started off doing 1-hour live streams and we bumped it to 2-hour and kind of fallen more comfortably and closer to the 3-hour live streams, and that allows me to really get a nice piece of work out there. So we're just always looking for that comfort zone. But with that, we're going to do some slight time changes because we are going with a more of a closer to 3-hour live stream. Maybe 2 hours one day and maybe 4 one day, but we're shooting for close to that 3-hour mark, I think, at this point. And so we're going to have to make some adjustments going forward next week. This week we'll still go live as I've scheduled in the past. So and I'll be telling everybody every day that we're going to be bumping that so that Monday through Wednesday, instead of going live at 11:30 Central like we have been, I'm going to bump it back to 10:30 Central. That will allow that extra hour that we're putting on the back end of it. So if anyone knows this channel, I am a proud father of 2 young and awesome children, and I am in charge of picking them up from school. They're a little too far out to walk, so I need to be able to get them in time, and I hate to be rushing my live stream or jeopardizing the quality of my work just because I'm chasing the clock. So with that extra hour, we're going to move it back an extra hour on Monday through Wednesday. So expect starting this week will be same time as normal. So starting next week, we're going to jump that back to 10:30. But again, as of this week, we're still staying at 11:30 time frame. And then also on Thursdays and Fridays, instead of going live at 9:30, which here in Kansas City where I'm at, that pushed me sometimes midnight before I'm finishing my live streams. And I've noticed a lot of people saying good night, I'm going to bed, and getting awfully late for those here in the Midwest, where a lot of majority of my audience is right now. We're going to be bumping that back as well. And I'll most likely on Thursdays, I'll be going live at closer to 6:30 or 7:30. I haven't got the exact time frame down yet. I will make that announcement once I go over the wife and we make personal plans, because I've also got sports games and things like that come into play. Again, comes along with being a father with 2 kids. So, and then the other, some of you may notice I missed Friday's live stream. Friday is a very difficult day for me to go live just because, family obligations, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This Friday, a few things kind of hiccuped and I wasn't able to go live on Friday. So we're going to call Fridays a bonus day. So expect that Fridays, we will try to put a live stream out on Fridays, but sometimes it may not occur. So just understand that we will be going live Monday through Thursday, and I'll try to hit each of those times and dates like clockwork. But Fridays are going to be a wild card. We may or may not go live on Friday, so do expect those changes to start as of next week. And again, I'll be telling everybody throughout the day or throughout this live stream and throughout the week, we're reminding you of the new times. Well, that being said, there's one other thing we need to talk about before we go on the artwork, and that is the giveaway. So this one is Rusty. It's the live stream number 23, and if you haven't seen this live stream yet, go back and watch it. It's a really good watch. And during that live stream, I love the way this one's turning out, and the Rusty is kind of a mascot here within the Stinky Robot family. My wife absolutely loves him, and she cried a river when I said that I was giving it away, and she couldn't take it to her office because she's been wanting a new piece of work for her office for a while, and she said, "That's the one I want." I said, "Yeah, that's also the one I'm giving away for my 100 subscribers." So we're at 96. We're right on the edge, teetering there for 100 subscribers. So if you have not subscribed to this channel, make sure you reach down there and hit that subscription button. Join the family here at Stinky Robot, and that way you get your chance to enter yourself into the contest. So what are the rules of the contest? Well, there's only two basic rules, real simple. One, you must be a subscriber of this channel. And two, just one entry per subscriber. So if you're a family or a husband-wife team and you're both subscribed to the channel, then you guys can both subscribe, or you can both enter the contest. But just one per person, please. To enter the contest, you will have to jump over to my website. And here in just a minute, I will have it posted right when I jump in the artwork, right there. When we go to the artwork screen, everything's backwards, so I gotta think backwards. But when I go to the artwork screen, you will notice down below underneath my picture of me drawing, you will see the website listed there. Or you can go down below. I'll also list the website down below. It's StinkyRobotArt.com. And on the home page, you'll see the entry form right there so you can enter the contest. We're going to be taking entries all week because I am a firm believer that we will hit 100 this week. Firmly believe it. We're only 4 away, so I'm confident that you'll reach down and you will subscribe to the channel. But yeah, we're 4 away. So subscribe to the channel, and we're going to take entries all the way until Sunday, April 10th. And then next Monday, I will do a drawing on this live stream. Next week on Monday. So Monday's live stream will be the drawing, and I hope you win. Good luck to you. And with that, we're gonna kind of jump in here and start working. One more time, we'll give you a good look here at Rusty. This camera kind of picks it up a little bit nicer, but yep, this is Rusty. This is the piece that you can win. As you notice, it is matted. It is matted, and all you gotta do is just drop it into a 9x12 inch frame, and you've got yourself a beautiful piece of artwork for your walls. So make sure you enter that contest. Again, go to StinkyRobotArt.com for your entry form. All right, guys, it's time to get going. Clock is running. Yep, and you'll notice right there's that website. If you forget where to go at any time, just right there, StinkyRobotArt.com on the homepage. Move my mouse out of the way. Oh, not sure I like that coffee. What do you think? 3/4 view or direct view today? Let's just do a kind of a direct view today. Why not? Let's see if I can come up with something as cool as the Rusty drawing. Anyways, yeah, this coffee. I'm not sure if I like it or not. My wife got some free stuff at work the other day, and it's brought it home to try it out. It's kind of a French roast from Peru. It says on the package it's got hints of tobacco and dark chocolate. And yeah, I tell you what, it definitely tastes like tobacco. Kind of tastes more like a liquid ashtray. I'm not sure I'm the big fan of it. You know. All right, so that's a basic shape, kind of like the Rusty shape, but we're gonna switch it up. This is not Rusty. We'll do something totally different here. So we'll figure this out as we go. Right now we're just going to play on making sure perspective and everything is correct. Okay, what are we doing here? What are we doing? What are we doing? Start with a real generic kind of framework here, what we'll build off of. Let's see. In the lower eyes. Kind of marking out where I want them to be. I gotta scoot this one over just a little bit. We were starting with real simple shapes here just to kind of build up our robot. Let's see, not positive yet, but we're heading in a direction at least. Which way are we going to take it? Yeah, we're just gonna build out some basic shapes. I'm not sure where we're going yet, but we will find out along the journey. Sometimes it's just kind of exploring new shapes and new possibilities. That's kind of really what we're doing today. Some of them will work out, some of them will not, but we will go down and explore many different avenues throughout this live stream. Find out what is working. Exploration and design and art is basically just what the channel is all about, so we're chasing possibilities. That makes sense. We may change it completely here in a minute. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about this, but we'll find out, won't we? Hey Tank, what's going on, brother? You know, I kind of feel like this is more of the horn style, but I'm not going to go with a real sharp horn. I think I'm going to go with more of a metal horn this time, instead of more of a something like that maybe. I think that might look good. Cool. Alright, we're gonna make a few changes here to make that look more awesomer. That's a word. Okay, so not sure about the jawline or in this shape, but we can clean these up and we can change them up a little bit. We're not married to any particular concept. Kind of like the goatee, so we'll leave the goatee there. Let's chop off that jawline a little bit, like so. A bit more of a pointier chin. All right, get rid of these little side vents. I don't necessarily hate all these lines, but I think we're going to have to clean them up a little bit. Same thing here. Let's see. There we go. Kind of like that shape a little bit better. Shape looks nice. Yeah, that doesn't sound pleasant at all, Tank. That does not sound fun. I would say it's never good when chunks come out of a wound. I would say that's probably right up there with, yeah, that's sucky territory. I told you my son, I hit first day of baseball practice the other day. We're playing catch, waiting for the team to show up so we can meet the coach and find out, meet all the teammates. We're playing catch, and literally about the same time, the coaches walk up and practice is going to start in about 5 minutes. I throw the baseball and he looks away for just a split second, looks away, and he ate the baseball right in the eye. Just puffed up super, super big. Seconds before he goes to meet his new coach. The timing couldn't have been worse. But now it's finally, the swelling's going down, but his eye is that really dark purple and green all the way around now. So but everybody, of course, he's asking him, what happened to your eye? What happened to your eye? What happened to your eye? So he's come up with a little thing now because he got tired of people saying, what happened to your eye? So now he just tells people, baseballs taste like baseballs. Like, that's awesome. You're my son. So yeah, baseballs taste like baseballs. They're not generally very good tasting. Okay. I don't feel like we got like a Power Ranger feel happening today. I'm not the biggest Power Ranger fan, but you guys are. There you go. Power Ranger Day. Now, we'll see if we can take care of that. Let's see. So that's too much. We're going to tone this down a little bit. There's so much of this happening. We'll go, yeah, let's just do 2. Maybe go for a little more armor feeling. A little less Power Ranger, a little more Excalibur. I think that's what we're going to go for. We're going to go for now kind of a steel Excalibur type robot. That could be fun. That I like. So I'm going to pull this out, bring these around the edge like that. Yeah. Now we're going to start cleaning up our details and making it look awesome. No, there's nothing wrong with Power Rangers. If you guys like Power Rangers and that's what you think this bot reminds you of, then that's fine. For me, Power Rangers, I'm just old enough. Power Rangers were not my generation. They were my little brother and sister's generation. So that was the cartoon that I joked and made fun of my little brothers and sisters for watching because they were just all about the Rangers. At that time period, I was pretty much all about the girls. So. For me, Power Rangers will always be my little brother and sisters era. I was way more Bozo the Clown. If you remember that show? I was all about Bozo. Bozo, Transformers, G.I. Joe. I wish I had those toys still. Boy, those things are worth some money. I had some of the toys. I look at the price that they're going for nowadays, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Maybe I shouldn't have left that out in the yard or wherever those toys went. I don't even know where my toys went. We had a bunch of He-Man. I think we had more He-Man than anything else. My parents and my brother wouldn't fight over it. I had all the good guys. I had He-Man, and I had Castle Grayskull, and all the good guy vehicles and all the good guy characters. And my parents bought my brother all the villains. So my brother had Snake Mountain, and he had Skeletor, and he had all the villains. We would set up on the other side of our room. I'd set up He-Man's side of the world, and he'd set up, Skeletor's. And man, that was Those are real good times. All we needed back then was just, you know, some toy muscle men, and we were set to go. Or a car that would transform into a robot. I mean, what else could you ask for? And my kids bought all these toys. And they cost a fortune. If you don't know if you've been to the toy department lately, but oh my god, the toys expensive. Hey sis, how you doing? You got toys that cost a fortune nowadays. My god, you want to get a Transformer, you're like $30 for a Transformer. But buy all these toys for my kids, and all they want to do is play on the iPad. All they want is a new video game. I think we've pretty much decided we're done buying toys for kids. They don't want them, they don't play with them, they just want screen time. Alright, so yeah, we're just gonna play with the idea of like a kind of a pseudo armor feel today. That's where we're going with this guy. I like that. Yeah, for anybody who's just showed up today, just a quick reminder, I'm going to say it several times throughout today's live stream. In fact, I'll be repeating this all week long, but we are very close to our 100 subscribers, and therefore we will be doing our 100 subscriber giveaway. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, do make sure you get subscribed as soon as possible. We'll be taking entries all the way until Sunday of this week for your chance. I'll show it one more time. For your chance to win this piece right here. This is Rusty. Rusty will be going to a new home next Monday. The drawing will be next Monday. You have till Sunday to enter. To enter for the contest, if you would like to be one, just make sure you're a subscriber to the channel. Then go right down here to stinkyrobotart.com. On the homepage are the entry forms. Just fill that out and you are in the contest. We'll be drawing it live on Monday for the winner. I do hope that everybody watching will be subscribed. Awesome, Tank. Just make sure they all know to get an entry form out. That is awesome. It is one entry per person, so get as many people in as you can. Okay, let's do a jewel right here. I think we're just adding detail right now. I'm just taking my time, trying to make a clean line and change up this eye a little bit for sure. We're going to go more the hollow eyes here because I'm doing that simple bead separation, like a beaded line all the way around most of these elements. So the eyes, instead of having bead, we're going to go with the hollow eyes just to change it up a little bit. Shrink that eye down a little bit. But we'll still probably do inset jewel eyes, I think. Okay, so how to add a little element. Round these off a little bit here, I think. At this point, we've pretty much got our idea. We're just going to kind of go in here and we're going to trim it up, touch it up, just a few elements. Clean things up a little bit. And for fun, I got an idea. I'm going to add right in here. Check this out. Right there. And we're gonna add some spikes. The spikes are cool. Hell yeah, they are. Maybe we're going with a suit of armor. Why not add some spikes? That's not something I typically do either. So it sounds like we should do it. Alright, after we've done these spikes in, I think it'll be time to start drawing or painting here in a second. So we're just about done with the detail work. Yeah, the funnest part about these is a lot of times, typically, when I sit down to draw, I have no idea where I'm going. So to kind of see where each drawing ends up, that's exciting. That's fun. Most of the time I do not have any idea where I'm going. I think I had one last week where Thursday last week, I just kind of I sketched up an idea because I had some time to draw, so I just did. I had it sketched up and ready to go, but 90% of the time, nope, I have no idea where we're going with the live stream. Today, not planning on doing a pseudo armor with spikes. But hey, we got a pseudo armor with spikes, and it's fun. Alright, that'll be it. I just some. Yeah. That is it. That pseudo armor, we definitely gotta add the rivets, I think. Okay, rivets it is. Ooh, like that. That's it, guys. We got ourselves a 10 soldier. Okay, we're gonna just kind of do, like I said, we're gonna do nice clean lines like we did with Rusty the other day. So for that, we're gonna just do a light number 3 outline over the whole piece, and everything else will just be ink, and I will not be adding any more pen work, most likely. Don't quote me. The piece isn't finished yet. But that's where I believe we will go. I reserve the right to change my mind at any given time. Ultimately, we just got to do what the piece requires. Be a good piece. Never be too married to one single idea. If you guys are watching this right now, make sure you reach down there and hit that like button. Helps me out with the algorithm. We're still building this channel, as you know. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. We're right there on the precipice of 100 subscribers. And jump over to that website after the video and subscribe. As soon as this video is done, jump over there and to stinkyrobotart.com and fill out an entry form for the giveaway. And episode 23 Rusty can be yours. Take my time, make nice clean lines, all done in one simple stroke. Okay. Sweetness. Yeah, I think it looks a lot less Power Ranger now, more assistant robot to Mordor. Just cleaning lines, looks good. Some eyes up in here now. Alright, there we go. Let's get some of this delicious tobacco coffee. Huh? Delicious. I don't like this piece. I'm going to stay very metal-like, but definitely going to add some blackish type colors and red and orange, I think. Kind of what I'm feeling today. As of right now, at least. Hey, Jason. Yep, we're real close to 100. We're right there near the end. Well, right near the beginning, I would say, at 100 subscribers. We're going to be doing something special here on this channel when we get, obviously, the first 100, and then my next goal will be 500, and then 1,000. And each time we hit one of our milestones, we'll celebrate. And we'll do something each time, a little giveaway or something along those lines. And if everything works out as planned, each time we hit a milestone, we'll get a little bit more grand with our prizes. This time around it's a live stream sketch. Next time around, we'll see. Who knows what it'll be. Maybe eventually at some point we might even give away a full-blown painting. Give away a full-size original artwork or something like that. So if I hit 500, you'll let Jason come play disc golf with me? Deal. You don't have to listen to her, Jason. You can come play disc golf with me anytime you want to. She doesn't have to know. It could be our secret. Indeed, Jason, indeed. Had my daughter out on the disc golf course this weekend. We decided to do some father-daughter time. We snuck away the disc golf course. Had both the kids out one day. The weather's been so nice this last weekend. Took both kids out one day, and then I took my daughter out, just me and my daughter one day, and the two of us threw. Over those 2 days, she really figured out how to throw that disc flat, and she made big strides in her game this week. I was very happy with her. She probably gained about 30 feet on her drives, and nice and flat. And she naturally throws this beautiful Anheuser curve, so the disc just comes right back to her. And so, and of course, the more advanced they get at it, the more excited they get about playing. They want to go out more and more because they see their own self-improving, which is just awesome. Just awesome. Just goes to show how much you can improve when you practice, practice, practice. And that's the same thing with this art. You know, that's why I do these daily streams. Because these are more for me to practice than they are to become like YouTube famous or something like that. Or more or less, this is forcing me to get out, and several days a week I'm creating a piece of art from start to finish. So no matter what happens with my larger works, I've at least completed several new pieces of art every single week. And the growth and improvement you'll see by doing this is immense. It's real easy to get caught up in your life and be like, oh, you know, I'll draw later, or oh, I drew last week, or you know. But if it's something you're really passionate about, you want to do it, no matter what it is, whether it's, you know, right now with my kids, it's disc golf, or with me, it's art and disc golf. You know, no matter what it is, you gotta get up there and you gotta do it on a regular basis. Even the days you don't want it, you don't feel like doing it, you're just kind of worn out, you're tired, which I've been guilty of time and time again. You gotta get up, get back on the bike, go for it again. And that's literally the entire purpose of this live stream, is forcing myself to work. I'm hoping you come along with the journey. Okay, guys, that's it. We're gonna call that done. I'm just gonna do a quick little erase of the pencil lines out of there, like so. A little graphite scratch is a little heavy on that right side. There we go. That's it. And we've got a new drawing. Let's ink it. Oh. Little line right. Oh. That is not. You reach for number 3 and you grab a number 8. Could have been tragic. That would have been a bit of a mistake. Oh, for the original bird brain? You're talking about that piece right there, the big one right behind me. That piece is 24 by 36 inches, and that one is going to be right around $5,000. That is a very large one, and it has a lot of hours in that painting. Yeah, we're right at 5. I think around $5,000 is what I'm asking for that painting. Yeah. Again, if there's any originals you see on my website that you're interested in, or you're wondering if I still have it or if it's sold and gone, you can always drop me a line. Go to my website, and there's a contact me there. You can always contact me there and get a hold of me. I can throw you price quotes, and we can definitely start a conversation if you're interested in buying a piece. All of my original artwork as well comes in a frame. I hand make all my frames in-house. Maybe one of these days I'll give you guys a tour of, well, I need to do a tour of my studio at some point, but I may also give a quick tour of the wood shop downstairs, because I not only have a studio, but I'm a big fan of woodworking. So I have a nice wood shop down in the basement. So I create everything, like the panels that I paint on, I create the art frames, I create everything. So everything's done in-house. When you buy an original piece of my art, the panels it's painted on are handmade, the frame is handmade. I literally control every aspect of the painting in-house. Yeah. I take great pride in my work. I am trying to decide what background color I want to use this today. Keep going for the same old same. This antelope just brings such a great. Let's do the antelope, but let's mix that with something different. Let's use indigo this time around. Yeah, as the background color instead of the shadow color. We'll mix the shadows up today a little bit. Got eraser shavings all over my drafting table this time. Try to keep them off the drafting table a little bit, but they seem to be everywhere. I got a little happy. My erasers. Alright, so we'll start obviously with the darker color first, or the lighter color. Sorry, light, then light to dark. So antelope into my indigo. See what we can come up with. Again, when I do these longer live streams, I try to stay a little more detail oriented, so I'm gonna get real close to the edge. I'm gonna be a lot less messy than I am when I go with the 1 hour live streams, which we'll still do those from time to time. There'll be days when I'll be running short on time frame, or maybe working on other projects and I just kind of want to dip in, get in and out of a live stream real quick. We will definitely still keep those in our arsenal, the 1 hour live streams. And those that get real messy, you gotta work real fast. I mean, you're sitting in an hour to do something. I mean, you're running pretty much the entire way through. But today, so much. You know what, this all the way to the edge on this one. I've been doing a lot of kind of propped in. This one we're gonna go all the way to the edge. The prints aren't too badly priced. I don't have the number right in front of me on the print. It's on my website for sure. Don't quote me on the exact price, but I think a print on that one is somewhere around, I think $65. I don't have all my prices fully memorized, so it may be slightly more, slightly less if you go to my website, thinkyrobotart.com. But yeah, look at the print section on there, and I do have signed numbered prints on the website. There are limited edition, and they will, at least the limited edition ones. I do some open-ended editions occasionally, but the limited edition ones will come with a certificate of authenticity, and each one has G-clay prints on rag paper. Bird Brain's a lot of fun. I love that piece. I actually did a small version of that. I think they're 5x7s. I did a series of 5x7s a few years ago. And I think WT, you actually own one of those. But I did one called Bird Brain, and I absolutely loved it. It was just a quick little 5x7 I did. And I loved it so much I decided I'm not selling that one. That one's actually hanging on my wall over there, over my printer. But it will stay with me in my personal collection. And I turned around and I redid it in a much larger scale. I just love the idea of a bird brain artist. I proudly consider myself a bird brain. So it's loosely, very loosely, a portrait idea. Call myself a bird brain. Which I'm sure maybe one or two people might actually agree with that. Alright, yeah, full background on this one. We'll go, like I said, we're gonna just a second, we're gonna jump over to indigo, and I might even splatter a little Payne's gray in there or something. For fun, for a little visual interest. And I also jumping on my website here really soon. In fact, it's going to happen this week. It will be officially up. I'll let you know when it happens. But over the weekend, I got the shipping supplies for these live stream drawings. So if you would like to, excuse me. So if you're interested in owning one of these handmade live stream, there we sold at a very reasonably priced amount. Oops. They will be going up for sale on the website some point this week. And these, at least in the beginning, will be sold as blind boxes. So I think that's kind of a fun way to do it too. You'll be anxiously waiting in the mail to see which one you got. And when it comes in, if you haven't seen that video, then hopefully it'll encourage you to go back and watch your original art being created. So that'd be a fun idea. I'm pretty excited about having these up. Again, they will be sold as blind boxes. I may, in particular, on some of the longer live streams, I may put them up individually for sale. But if I do that, then those ones will also probably jump a little bit in price, just depends on the interest of the work. Quite honestly, that's what dictates any price, really. Just kind of working this. What you'll see what I'm doing in a little bit is I'm coming in here and just adding a little bit of feathering out. I like to start darker from the center and I work my way out. So I'm building a few layers here in this antelope brown to visually build up texture and detail. Kind of illuminating outward, radiating, that's what I'm looking for, outward from the figure. We'll be doing the same thing here in just a second with the indigo and having a little bit of blue mixed in this background. And we're going to go in here with the reds and oranges. Throughout. And I'll probably add a little bit of splatter as well in this. Just gonna spend about the next 10 minutes building this background up. Then we'll move on. Again, with these longer live streams, we try not to rush through it as much, but we don't want to get locked into overly working one particular area as well. Really, really easy to just overwork. So the easiest thing to do in any form of art is just to overwork a section. Give it just what it needs and realize exactly when it's done and then move on. Enough of that color for now. Now let's come back in here with the indigo. Now when we lay the indigo over this brown, I'm going to make sure it's good and dry first. We may still get a little bit of greening tone to it. And since I just said that, my brain hiccuped a little bit. We're not going to use this. I was initially going to go with the blue and then reds and oranges in the piece. But now that I'm thinking about it, it is true. When I go with this indigo over this antelope, because there's a lot of green in this antelope, and it's going to just turn out I think the color we're not gonna like. So I'm gonna stop before I'm ahead, transition, and we're gonna go more into the red tones, and we're gonna go. So we're gonna do a little more of the reds in the background here. That way I can bring the blues into the shadows, and then we'll probably put the bright red gems and stuff like that, the red and oranges there. But we're gonna transition now, earth red, or red earth, in the background. And I think that will, in the long run, make for a much, much more visually stunning piece. Oh. Kind of feel like I caught myself there, about to make a mistake. May not have been, I don't know. I don't want to do too much of this red. It'd be really, really simple to do too much. You just want to keep it somewhat minimal. Feathering it in. Side now. Keep it somewhat subtle. Really, really easy to overpower it at this point. We're keeping the brush nice and wet. Putting a little bit down, and then with a nice, really thick, wet brush, we feather it back out. Okay. Yeah. Now we will come back in and add splashes, splots, and splitters, and splops, and spooges, all with this red earth tone. Okay, but key is we want to kind of keep it out of there as much as possible. If we get it in there, we'll just wipe it out immediately. There will be some mistakes had at this point. It's almost impossible to get perfect. We're not going to be too scared if we get a spot in the wrong location. Just is what it is. We'll do light taps and just try to get it in just the right spots. Good amount of water on these droplets so that see, there we got a little bit on there. Immediately a little bit of water and wipe it off as fast as possible so it doesn't stain too much. But this red color will stain. It's just part of this red earth color. It wants to stain, but we'll clean all that up no worries. Man, we got more splotches, yay! Okay, good. More water. Remember, the more water you add, the more it's going to splot. And also, if the brush is nice and wet, we can also like tap it in areas we want perfect little spots to be. Not enough water. All right, that's good. A little bit of spots right here and right here. Okay, we're gonna let this dry somewhat here in a second, and we're gonna tap those off. Let's see, I want a few areas to be more large red blotch. Right here. Get it really wet. We're just gonna let it. Want some big red spots. So all right, pull that off here in just a second. And when we're done with that, I'm going to take a small little bit of Payne's Gray. And we're going to do some of that toothbrush splatter just over top in some strategic little locations. And then we can start painting the actual robot itself. We're going to hit it lightly with the blow dryer right now. We don't want to dry it completely because we want to be able to pull that up like this. Then we got these great little blotchy marks. But gotta make sure you don't fully dry it. Some of the little ones get fully dried, that's fine, we can leave those. But there. Like that. That's a fun little effect. All right, let's get this dry out of the way. Okay guys, I'm gonna move in. Like I said, just gonna do a little bit of the toothbrush splatter. And if anybody wants to know, yes, this is my actual toothbrush. I get this beautiful smile of mine. Yeah, just any good old-fashioned, old, retired toothbrush will work. I've noticed that the really cheap ones that are your very basic bristles tend to work better. The fancier, more expensive reach head and all that stuff, the brushes go every which direction. They don't work as well, although you can get different effects with them. I mean, but I like a really cheap, you know, 99-cent toothbrush that you can pick up at any dollar store. Those are the best ones. They just got the best kind of bristles. And the wetter you make it, again, just like the other, the bigger your blotches will be. See, we're gonna be real controlled. We want to keep it right off of the actual bot as much as possible, and we're not gonna get carried away with it either. This is just a subtle detail. And we will go back over it, and we will also pull off any additional ink that gets in spots we don't want it. Given there's going to be some, but don't worry, we can always fix that. That'll all pull out pretty easy. Now, this is not a necessary step. We could always avoid this simple little step, but in the long run, it looks really neat on the final piece. Makes it pull more together. Simple, it's quick, and it makes it look like a full, more finished piece of artwork because of these little elements that are in there. But that's it. Now we've used 3 colors to build up the background, and that's a lot more visually stunning. 3 different effects. The antelope brown, which went from dark to light and kind of feathered it out. Then we added the red and we blotted it, and now we got some quick little paintbrush or toothbrush splatter. Really wet, so we get different thicknesses of ink there. That's it. We're gonna blow dry this, and we're gonna be done with the background. All right. Ooh. Yeah, I'm really rejecting that coffee today. That is not good stuff. Here we go. We're moving in. Let's go with... Now we can jump in and we can go with that Payne's... Sorry, indigo. We use this for the shadows. Blue will look good against this background. Like I said, we're gonna use a lot of red details in this piece today. It's just gonna be very red heavy. Switch out my brushes, something a little bit thinner. Keep your water ratios pretty decent, because we want this to be a lot thinner lay on the very first pass. We'll start off with a nice light lay down of the color. It will progressively get darker as we build up layers. We're going to hit all the areas of shadow. That'll be our starting point. Okay, looks good. Again, we're just making it real light and going over shadow areas. Yep, see, I'm just building up my shadows. Once I have all the areas that I want to be in shadow, then I'll come in and I'll start darkening what certain areas will be. Some will need to be a little darker, some will be a little bit lighter. We're working real light from the beginning. Oh, good Lord. I love it when the phone rings during live stream. I put it on silent, but the problem with it is my phone is hooked to my iPad as well as my computer and my son's phone. So when my phone rings, I can have like 4 or 5 devices in the house ringing at the same time. Even though I put my phone on silent or vibrate, the iPad or the computer, sometimes they don't go off, sometimes they do. Just kind of seems to be almost at random. We're all right here together, iPad, phone, and computer. Sometimes just my phone rings, other times they all 3 ring. I don't know. I'm sure there's a way to shut it off, but I always just put my phone on silent and assume that's gonna be good enough, but not always. Sometimes it is. And other times I have a trio. It was the other day we were trying to find my phone. I lost my phone in the house, so I'm looking for my phone. So I had my wife call my phone. And every device in the house started going off, except for my phone. We couldn't find my phone. But the computer's going off, the iPad's going off, my son's phone's going off. Every device in the house is ringing, except for my phone, apparently. It was frustrating, but we found it eventually. I think it fallen in the couch cushion or something, but we're all trying to leave to go somewhere. We're all running around the house trying, like, I hear it ringing, I hear it ringing. Nope, that's the computer. Nope, that's the iPad. Nope, that's... Technology, what a beautiful disaster it is. How many of us out there are remember, thinking about technology here, how many of us are old enough to remember back when our grandparents and our great-grandparents, or even our parents, were convinced that there's no real reason to learn how to use the internet. The internet's just a trend, you know, it's gonna go away. It's just a fad everybody's in. This internet's not here to stay. And they didn't want to learn computers. They didn't want to learn internet. You know, they were good. They could use a typewriter. They knew how to use a typewriter. That's all they needed. Heck, how many of us remember even using typewriters in school? Or we had a computer lab in school, but the computer lab had like a total of like 6 computers in it. And it wasn't even a required class. Some people took it, some people didn't. But yeah, they were just convinced it was just a trend. It wasn't something that everybody had to learn, and they weren't going to learn how to use a damn computer and blah blah. Anymore, I think that's where we're heading right now with crypto and with VR, virtual reality, and the whole metaverse idea that's coming along. I think we're on the precipice of that next revolution, and that's a crazy, scary thought. I feel like I'm in a position where I know just enough about technology to know that I don't know enough about technology. You know, we have a VR headset. We love going in VR. It's a lot of fun. VR is if you haven't done it, it's a blast. Technology is way more advanced than you think it is if you haven't ever been in it. You know, and we dabble with crypto and learn to figure out how that works. Don't ask me for crypto advice. Like, I'd hate to lose your money for you, but I think we're on this new revelation of all this stuff that's happening. These robots I draw on Paint, I mean, they're literally creating new robots daily. It's not going to be long. If you've ever looked at Boston Dynamics and stuff that Boston Dynamics is doing, holy cow, is that awesome. Boston Dynamics is definitely on the forefront of robotics. The military is implementing robotics in warfare now. We got drones that are flying around, and I mean, just drones in general, even the ones you can buy for toys and fly around, are insanely, capable anymore. You can get a drone and literally let it fly itself, and it can fly miles away from you without any problem. It just disappears. Just goes way out for miles and miles and miles, and you can be videotaping stuff that's not even close to where you're at. That I do not own, but I would love to have a drone one of these days. Try to justify how I could add drone footage into my artwork, and I just don't know how you take artwork and implement drone work in your YouTube video for art. And I guess I could have a little flying around my studio, filming me and crashing into all my walls, but that's probably a bad idea. It'd be fun to try to justify one, but I don't think my wife's gonna let me buy a drone for my studio just quite yet. And maybe if I start doing some outdoor painting, that might be fun. But yeah, the way technology is going, the advancement of it's taking on, it's amazing and it's awesome. And it's also extremely scary at the same time. There are some scary things coming down the pipe. But I guess if you look at history, most of our civil advancements all spawned from most of the time military or at times of war. It's one of those things where you wish it wasn't that way, but war drives innovation. Creates large entities like governments and bodies to open up the wallet and spend a lot of money on advancing technologies in order to have an advantage in times of war. It's terrible to think about, and a lot of people don't want to think about it this way, and I don't either, but war drives innovation. Always has. From figuring out how to mine bronze and copper in order to better weapons, and farming equipment, tools. But primarily it was for weapons. The advancement of weaponry, advanced civilization. You can point out a million things that this didn't happen because of war, and that didn't happen because of war. And you're right, there's a lot of innovation that came from times of peace. I'm not stating that all innovation has come from times of war. My statement is simply that a large amount of our technical innovation has spawned from war. Fitting, since I'm doing a sit of armor today. I'm definitely not advocating for war, so don't take me wrong. I'm not in the least amount. Not a, yeah, zero advocation for war. I think war is horrific and we should never strive for war, ever. It is merely an observation. Merely an observation. Okay, we're at the light blue phase. I think we're just about ready to, I'm gonna maybe darken this a little bit. Lighten this a little bit, I should say, not darken. We need a little light blue coming around this way because we are going to darken this side. I need to kind of pull that over. And this side not as much so, but yeah. Wow, like so. Fantastic. A little light blue on the top of this helmet. I just keep working it until it's correct. May not be able to see exactly what I'm doing on some of the lighter areas here. They show up more on my side of it than yours, but that's it. Layer 1 of our silver suit of arms, all finished up. All right. And we'll almost do like a 3-eye thing here, but you'll see in the future, in a little bit what I'm going to do to that. That should be kind of neat. Okay. Every time I'm ready to move on, I notice a spot I kind of neglected or missed. So we got to get, I didn't do the spikes, so we got to get the shadow side of the spikes all in here real quick. Like so. Okay. Let's darken it up, shall we? I think we shall. That. I have to get some more ink out here in a second. Starting to get a little bit dry over there on the palette. All right, I think it's time to remind everybody that if you just showed up and you haven't been in here very long, do me a big favor. Hit that thumbs up down below and subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate you guys coming along for the journey. And if you guys have just logged in, you don't know just quite yet, we are having a contest entry. So you'll have your chance to win. I'll show it one more time. You'll be able to win this piece right here. This is Rusty. Rusty was done on episode number 23. If you haven't seen it, go back and give it a watch. But on this piece is going to be our giveaway piece. And since we're right at 100 subscribers, so make sure if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do subscribe, because to celebrate 100 subscribers, which we are right on the very edge of being there, we will be giving him away. If you are interested in winning Rusty and you want to be part of the competition, all you gotta do is make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, and then you go to my website, which is right there, StinkyRobotArt.com, and on the homepage you'll find the entry form for the contest. So subscribe to the channel, enter in the contest for your chance to win Rusty. We will be taking entries all the way until Sunday, with the hopes that we should be at our 100 subscribers by the end of the week. So, yep, we will enter by Sunday on the 10th, and we'll be doing the drawing on Monday's live stream. So on Monday, we will do the drawing live here on the YouTube channel during Monday's streaming. So, thank you guys for subscribing, and I wish you all the best of luck. Now we're going to take our time right now. We're just kind of building up these details, because again, we're doing a longer live stream, so we have the ability to do a little bit longer on these. In this portion of it anyways. Get it nice and but yeah, we're going to build these shadow details up, and when we do that, and then put the final bit of white and gray in there, it'll really pop the metal and make it look way more metal, realistic metal tones. Just a matter of don't go too fast, don't work it too quickly, which I know sounds counteractive to some of the things I've said on this channel, but on this phase, it's all about putting the right lines and the right amount of ink in the right spots. And we're just slowly building up the shadows. I'm not going to be overly concerned with the rivets at this phase, but we will here in just a minute pop those rivets as well. And this will also have areas that will be red and some areas that will be black too, so we're just not getting too carried away with ourselves just yet. But I do believe this part is going to be in a metal tone, so I need to make sure I get the shadow side of here while I'm at it. It's easy to forget little elements like this. I'll darken up some areas now. There's more shadow. so. Now this side here, look, that'll pretty much all be in highlights, so we're not going to worry much about that side of it. Darker in here. There we go. Same goes here. Cool. Just working on that suit of arms here, guys. Building it up. A nice, steady. We're going to kind of think of it like 3-layer tones. We're going to think of the shadow lines is going to be that light blue reflection. Then we're going to do a darker blue indigo, deepen in some of the areas we want to pop a little bit more than others, especially right around seam lines. Get nice and long dark lines along the seam lines. But then we'll finalize it all with Payne's Gray and that real, so it's not black, it's a Payne's Gray. It's basically it's like a black blue. That will be our finalized shadow line. Then we'll come back at the top with the gray one more time. And we'll kind of lightly blend in gray with these blues using the same kind of techniques. And then pop a little bit of white highlights in there and we're good to go. Okay, like so. Is there anything anybody wants to ask me or any subjects they want to talk about? Feel free to jump in the chat. We can have a little discussion if you guys want. Or if you just want to watch me work, that's not a big deal either. We can, especially if you guys are drawing with me, I understand you don't want to sit there and type in the chat if you're drawing, which ultimately that's what we like to do here in this channel, is have a bit of a drawing community. So if you're drawing, don't worry about it. If you're watching, hit me up. Let me know. Ask me a question. Good. Or if there's any subjects you just want to talk about something random, you can talk about random. Which time we got? We're at 1:38, so we're right at the halfway mark on this piece, and it's looking pretty good. The whole theme on this one we're trying to shoot for is a suit of armor type look on the robot. So we're taking our extra time to make sure that we get a good shimmer on the metal. That's going to be key to him looking like a suit of armor, is that real shimmery metal. So far, I think we're doing a pretty decent job at it. Okay. Need to darken some areas. This is also about the point in about 2 seconds where we're going to highlight these rivets, because this is the tone we're going to want to do it in. First, I want to punch the shadow lines right in here a little bit more. It looks dark now, but again, when we go to Payne's Gray, it'll be almost like putting a real deep shadow in here. Dark Payne's Gray will look really awesome. At least it should, if I do everything correctly. I'll let you be the judge of that. Is there anything you want to say or critique my work? By all means, leave me comments down below. I really love seeing your comments and getting a chance to react to them. Unless you're a spam bot trying to sell some kind of sex website, in which case, yeah, you can piss off. Not too interested in sex bots on this website. Not to say I won't draw one day, but we're not interested in your perverted website. Not really. Right, I think that's about the end of that. A few spots in here a little bit. Here some. And now we're just going to tap on the rivets. Rivets are going to be real simple, guys. Just do a little bit of kind of a U shape, the shadow side of each one of these rivets in a nice dark blue. And you can easily allow the blue to go into part of the rivet underneath it. That's just fine, because there will be a shadow side on each rivet anyways. On the rivets this small, it's not as necessary. I try to get a little bit in there sometimes, but not on every one. On the smaller, tiny rivets, which I'm missing on this one, I just totally did not draw that rivet. Wow, apparently I could. I have to fix that. I'll fix that when I go to the gray. I completely missed that rivet. Yeah, no big deal. Problem solved. On the shadow side of these rivets, shadow side, shadow side. I'm gonna go a little darker right here. Little sharp dark line on either side of these spikes a little bit. And that is it. We're starting to look pretty metallic, if you ask me. Let's move in here. We'll go gray first, then we'll come in with the Payne's Gray and the white, pop these highlights and shadows, and then we can move into working the rest of this robot. We'll first need to add this shadow line. I always kind of want to pay attention, make sure there's no areas you're missing before you move on. Sometimes it's where you get it while you still have the ink out. So we forgot the shadow. This side. Right there. Work here on the bottom, of course. Yeah. Like so. Just that easy. Ta-da. Now, let's go this gray. Again, with the gray, it's kind of important. You don't have to get too dark. Start off with nice. You know, it's almost like you want to go 60-40, 60% water, 40% ink in the beginning. Tap it dry. It doesn't have to be sopping wet. But the water ratio in the beginning, I'll start with about 40% water, or sorry, 60% water, 40% ink. That'll give me a good idea of where to start lighter, and then always work your way to the darker tones. And then here in a minute, you can go with a little bit, you can switch that, and then you go 60% ink, 40% water. Once you get your piece to a certain point. Right now, we're still doing the mostly water, because we want the gray to be very subtle. Don't want it to be very deep. You'll instantly know if you got your ratios off, because all of a sudden you'll be going along and you'll put one mark down and it's way darker than the rest. And if you're quick about it, you can always just add a little extra water, like right there I did it. Then you can water it down right on top while the ink is still wet. If the ink gets a chance to absorb into the paper, yeah, too late. You snooze, you lose kind of deal. I'm gonna go all gray on this side, I think. That's something I'm gonna do. We'll pull the white highlights out of this in a second. You'll see it'll... So it's not that big a deal. If you go low on the dark side, you can always pull it right back out again. Not an issue. I'm gonna need a dark... I'm gonna need a dark line right there, I think. Come back to that in just a second. Add that. Do it right now while we're thinking about it. For my ink. And too late. Ink is fully dry. We missed the window. So note to self, we'll have to create right over the top of this little goatee area. We need to darken that line a little bit. That won't be hard to do. We could probably actually do it with the Payne's Gray. We're just going to work this gray all the way around. Remember, we're going to do the highlights and the shadows in just a moment. So, we're working in mid-tone. That's one of the most important keys elements. Is got to remember, this is mid-tone. You have a base layer, mid-tone, then you go to highlights and shadows. So we've already did our base layer, now we're working on our mid-tone layer. I'm not going to go into these these little ear spikes, because we're going to be doing something different there. You'll see in a second what we're going to do there is going to be a little bit different. Now you'll notice we're not coloring any areas, not blocking any areas in with a particular color. We're kind of using, you know, just a little gray here, a little gray there. We're just kind of tapping it around. And that's what we want to do. We don't want it to be any solid color in any location. There, there, and there. Sweet. There. Okay. And when we come in with these highlights in a minute, it's just going to look really good. Each one of these rivets, I am going to put a little touch of gray on most of these rivets. Then we put the highlight on it, and it'll help the highlight pop a little bit. But we don't want to overdo the shadow side of things. Just a little tiny bit. Almost not even enough to make any noticeable change, but it's there. And when you step back, it'll add a little bit of interest. You won't even see with your eye. Your naked eye will never notice it, but your subconscious brain will. That is a main trick of art. You want to do a really successful piece, you got to learn a little bit about psychology, because there's little tricks you can do. There's lots of little tricks you can do to fool your brain. And really good artists, some of the best artists in the world are experts at that. Subtle little details that you never actually can visibly see. You almost can't even pick them out if they were asked. But there are elements that are in there, trick your eye or lead your eye. One of the key components of like how your eye flows through a piece is learning those tricks. Certain lines and elements that can direct an eye in the direction the artist wants your eye to flow. Now I'm not adding a bunch of that in this particular piece. This particular piece is just, don't go looking for it in this particular piece. This one I'm literally just concentrating on making a really cool looking robot in the time frame that we have. And it's completely made up on the spot. This one did not have any preliminary anythings to it. Literally started with a blank piece of paper about an hour and 52 minutes ago. It was nothing. And now we have a suit of armor bot. Personally, I think this one's turned out awesome. Okay, we're just about done with this portion of it now. We'll go into highlights and shadows. Then we can move into the color elements. And hopefully, if it plans out the way I have a vision in my head, when we get to adding the color, it should really come to life at that point. Right. Oh, right at 2 hours. Now there won't be a whole lot of shadows and highlights needed for this particular piece, but it will be enough. We know that pane's gray now. Switch out my brush, go with one with a little bit more of a crisp point to it. Let's see, is the one I want? Yeah, I think so. Now when I highlight the right around the seam lines, first I draw a nice, decent, not too thick, nice thin line along the edge. And after I'm done with that, I wet the brush, and then I feather it out so we don't have a harsh line. It gives a nice little feather, and that helps make it more of a three-dimensional object. Okay. Same thing with this line here. Feather it out just a bit. That is a seam line. Since this is a pseudo armor, not going to stay with this metal tone, I'm not going to go crazy on the really dark shadow. I ran the goatee like I said I need to do. Pretty phenomenal, if you ask me. Just keep working it. If I didn't like, I can tighten that out. Yep, like so. Good. Now let's go back over to the Side of the face like that. The lighter side of the face and add just a tiny little bit. Not a lot. Easy to overdo it on this side of the face. You almost want to just give it a small hit. Just a tiny little suggestion. That is about all you're going to need, is a suggestion of it. Like so. Doesn't need much. You know, a little bit here. And we will need to go though on this. Like so. And we're happy with that. Now is a great time, if you've not hit that thumbs up button, to reach down there, tap that button. Let me know that you found the video and that you're watching. Definitely want to subscribe to the channel, because this week is the giveaway week. So if you haven't subscribed, now is a great now is the time to get subscribed to the channel. We will be giving away the episode number 23, Rusty. That piece will be given away next Monday to celebrate hitting 100 subscribers. You will have until Sunday, April 10th, to jump over to the website, stinkyrobotart.com, after you've subscribed to this channel, it is, and enter for your chance to win that piece. It is 1 entry per person, and I wish everybody good luck. You should also, if you are watching my videos and liking what I'm doing here, definitely suggest that you hit that bell notification. That way you know when this channel does go live, and you won't be able to miss any of the drawing sessions here at Stinky Robot. Yep, see how we're really building up that shadow line. It's looking pretty darn exciting. We'll get that finished up, hit the highlights, and then we're going to go in with color. We're going to finalize the color at the very end. When working with these colors, I remember one of the keys to working in these acrylic inks and building these things up is light to dark. So every time you go to the new, see if I can talk this time. Every time you go into a new section, start light to dark. That is done with your water ratios. Not the amount of water on your brush. It's the amount of ink to water on your brush. So real simple, like we're about to go to this section here. I'm gonna jump in here. First, I'm gonna dip the brush in the water. I'm gonna add just a little bit of ink. And then I'm gonna wipe it on my rag. Just tap, tap. That way I'm not fully loaded on my brush. But the ratio of water should be pretty thin. Yep, and that's right. So then I'll kind of come in here and lightly work the area I wanna work. Now once I go darker, now I'll go straight to the ink, and I'll tap the same area that's got a little water in there, and I'll get ink, dry it. Now I should have more ink than water on my brush, and I can come over again for a second pass. And it'll be a lot darker the second pass. And I'll work that back and forth until I'm very happy with where I'm at on the shadow or whatever detail that you're working on at that time. Now that I'm gonna go straight into the line, I'm gonna go straight into the ink. No water. And I'll pull right up against my shadow, right up my seam lines. Then I'll dip it into water. No ink. Dry it off. Now there's still ink left over, but I will then lightly feather along that line I just drew, and I will feather it out like so. Just like that. Work these shadows into this little spike area. Like so, looking good. And on the highlight side, we will not, again, we want to keep it a lot thinner. Don't want to overdo it, but we're going to make sure we have enough on there. It's good. We are just about done with the shadows. And it's a good thing too, we're just about out of ink. Okay. And just like so. Now let's see, is there any other areas I want to add a little bit to? Now we're going to go into white, add our highlights, and to the color we go. 207. Keep that on time. Real good on time, actually. Now, we're definitely not going to get heavy on this white. Let's switch over brushes. This white is just to blend in a few areas where we want to pop our highlight a little bit. So this is easy for us to overwork the white if we're not careful. We're on right along the edges of the seams and then back into some areas we just kind of want to feather it a little bit better. But we are not going to get absolutely carried away with the white. It's easy, easy, easy to do. But we have some of these areas where the splatter on the background got a little carried away. We can erase that extra splatter we want right now. Make that vanish. Clean up our edges. Then add our highlights. At the very end, we're gonna go with a very thin brush here in a minute, and we're gonna really clean things up. Now you can see me get really close because I'm kind of fine-tuning my detail work, which in my case, with my bad eyes and these glasses, I gotta get pretty darn close to things to make things more clear for myself. So use my big old head if it's getting in the shot. Now, this is a translucent white. So some of these areas where we built up texture and color, all we're gonna do is it's gonna tone it down, but it's not gonna fully cover it up. So don't expect it to fully cover things up 100%. That's a good thing. We want to tone certain areas down. Now, if you want a certain area to be bright white, you don't want so much just a thin tone. If you want it to really pop white, then you're looking at doing probably 2, maybe 3 layers of this white to really clean it up. Either that, or you could switch to a heavy body acrylic, or you could switch to something along those lines that's going to give you a little bit more of a crisp line. You can also use colored pencils, is another thing you can easily do. You want a nice crisp white. You know, that's probably something, if I was really concentrating on getting full amount of detail work I could out of this, then absolutely colored pencils would probably be my go-to. But I'm not necessarily seeking that much detail out of it because we're doing a simple 3-hour live stream. But if we ever take a piece further than that, then yeah, that'll probably be the first thing you'll see me add to my arsenal, would be a colored pencil. So just for personal reference, if it's something you think you would like to implement to make your work look a little more cleaner, look a little more finished, then yeah, grab a colored pencil, work those into your, like a white colored pencil, work that into your highlights, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, good. Looking so good. Now we're putting big emphasis on where we think the highlights are falling. And cleaning up some lines. Now back into the shadow side, we are going to go a little over top of the shadow side here. We got pretty dark, and this is where we can pull it right back out. Thin down some areas, and it'll look, but it's not going to be fully transparent, which is good. It's still definitely shadow side, but it's thinned out some of those shadows so they're not so deep. Final stage here in a second, we're going to go around all the shadow side and add a nice crisp, really crisp white line around all the outside edges. Just a second. See me do that. Right here, a little background got in that. A little line right there. I'm going to use 2 layers and just clean up. We got a little bit of that earth red, just kind of came over the line a little bit. And clean this up a little bit on this side. Water on this one. I don't want it to go completely. So I'm just kind of feathering this white in layers just to kind of clean this side up. Good. Likes a little bit. Okay. Just like so. Now, like I said, we're going to jump into the thin brush. Here will work. Yeah. Oh. I'm going to go thinner than that. That is too thick. Let's see. This is the one I'm looking for right here. Number 1, round. Okay, here we go. Got a nice, clean accent line all the way around the shadow side. All right, ink on there. We go straight white. We don't want to feather. Don't thin out this layer at all. We want nice, thick white. Do a nice clean line. Cleaner the better on that. Other side here. Here. Now the goatee. Really good. And work around the entire piece. Anything that's an outside line and shadow. Now we get these sticks up. Sounds like I've got a puppy downstairs whining at the back door. I may, here in 2 seconds, need to do something about that. As I finish this color up, you have to give me 2 seconds. Okay. Okay. That part is done. I think I'm gonna add a little more white pop right there in the face. Like I said, if you want a bright white, you're gonna have to do more than one layer. So now that's dried, we're gonna come back one more time. And here in a few little areas. And feather that in like that, and we're good. Okay. We're ready to move into color, guys. It's time for the color. But, unfortunately, right before we jump into color, give me 1 second if you wouldn't mind. I have a 12-year-old greyhound downstairs whining at the back door, desperately wanting to go outside to go to the bathroom. And if you've ever had to clean up a pee mess of a giant dog, you would understand why. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna let this big guy outside and I shall return. I'll hurry. Yep, I was right. He was spinning circles by the back door. He was a very happy dog to see me come down there. So. Yep, he's a happy dog now. Okay. Now we're gonna go eyes and do all this. Excuse me. Start out with this centerpiece here. And I am looking at doing a bright yellow, golden yellow. Now here's where mistakes can be made. I decided to go with the yellow color. Now mind you, I've already put in some dark blue highlights. And blue and yellow make a bit of a green color. So had I thought of this a little bit earlier, I could have prepared myself. Not done that, but we will go over here in just a second with a little bit different color and change your shadows. And I think we'll be able to do just fine. I think we'll be able to pull it out and work it just fine. I'm not overly concerned about it. But just be aware, especially if that ink had not previously dried, if it was a little bit wet, then that will definitely mix with our gold and we'll get a green. Not something you're gonna want. All right, so again, can't use Payne's Gray for the same reason. It's got a lot of blue in it. So when you're using yellow, we're gonna bring in an actual black. You could also use brown or some other colors like that, but black is typically the way I go with it. So we're gonna mix a little green, a little black. Oh, sorry, green. A little yellow, a little black. Now we're gonna revisit our shadows here. And since they're already so dark, we're not gonna have to do a lot of work over top of them. We're just slightly changing the tone so they don't show up as green. We do not want that. No, no, no. Okay. Just like so. Added just a little bit of varying tone in there so that we can back in with a little gold, a little white, and then pop our highlights out. Now, I need to go back. I did not get any shadow line along that side. Before we get too far along, we need to do that. Turn that around and just do right here. Not much, very subtle. But you need just a little. You don't want to get carried away. That's why we're going to go back in with just a wet brush and thin this out. Too late, let it dry. Not a big deal. It is subtle enough that it's not going to make a big difference. Especially when you come across this. Thin it out with the white easily. Just like that. Boom, and problem solved. Yeah. Bright yellow with the white. Now we're popping those And for a final touch, go straight white for the final highlights. Like so. Like I said, use for bright white, use more in one layer. Even less that time for more highlights. Pop of highlight. Like that. Cool. Now we're gonna call that pretty darn good on the gold aspect. Yeah, I have a little more white out here. There's one small element I think I missed. We can come back really quick and just hit it before we move on to the next color. So back to the white, back to a thin brush. Nice, loaded up with paint, no water. And we're gonna get the highlights of this element here that goes around. We wanna highlight that. I've forgotten to do that last time. So just the highlighted side. Not the shadow side. And for this part right here, this is all in highlight. Whole side is highlight. That adds a new dimension to it, and it looks fantastic. Right along our highlights. Beautiful. Okay. And now for the center circle, same thing. Accentuate the highlights. Just like that. Okay. Chalk that part of being done now. Now we're going to go into these little wings. I'm thinking scarlet. Not so much the flame red. Let's go with scarlet. Okay. And for the shadows, we'll be using the indigo. We're going to use the same color for the eyes, but we're going to do a little something different with the eyes, in which case we're just going to add the purple, the indigo, add one more color, so that'll give a color separation between here and here. And you'll see a definite color shift. Now, which brush to use? Let's go with this one. We're going to water down quite a bit. We're going to start with a very light scarlet. You don't want to get too dark. In the beginning, we'll start with nice light scarlet. And remember, we start light and darken as you go, and you'll have a much more impressive piece. That's too dark. Add some more water and blend it out. Again, add more water. We're still too dark. There we go. so. And we've already added a lot of the shadow detail already in this when we did the shadows. So that's good. We won't have a lot of shadows to do here. If we keep the red nice and thin, that is, and we won't have to worry about it too much. Darken this red up some. See how leaving some of this light scarlet, that really thin scarlet out there ahead of time is helping us. I don't have to build as much white and pink in there. We'll leave it like that, and that'll look really good. We'll go over here in just a second, add some highlights, but while we're at it, let's go ahead and add the scarlet in a real light fashion. Leave a little bit of area white for the highlights. Same with the eyes here. Develop this. And just some beautiful jeweled eyes. Like so. Now, this time, let's darken this, but we're going to bring it in. We're going to take the dark red in now. Being extra careful not to just stay in the lines here. We do not, at this point, want to have to come back if we can help it and do touch-ups. But if I make a mistake here and touch it, then that's exactly what we're going to have to do. So we're going to try to extra careful not to color outside the line. Like so. Okay. We got just a little yellow on the side of the eyes right there. Just so the cat's light coming out of the eyes is a little bit, it's not just metal tone. All right. Now, like I said, we're gonna go with the eyes, a little different color. And we'll save the white to last. We'll have white to do throughout the entire of the red. But for the eyes and the jewels, we're gonna add the purple. Did I already get it? I don't thought I did. Purple, purple, purple. Oh, it's right there. I had not gotten it out yet. Add a little bit of purple here. That'll help give some just a bit of color definition and change from the eyes and the jewels. Set it apart a bit from the ear, the wings, or whatever you call those things on the side of his head. Dog is screaming to come back in. He's gonna have to wait a little bit. I wanna... Okay. There's the one silly thing about him. He likes his air conditioner and he likes his heater. My dog does not does not like being outside for more than 5 minutes maximum. He wants to go outside, do his business, and then come right back to his bed. If anybody's ever been around greyhounds, though, they understand that greyhounds, kind of like big cats, they sleep 20 hours a day. They sleep and they sleep and they sleep. Love his bed. Okay, at this point, we're just going to start really working in these reds and these purples and stuff together. And we're going to slowly build up these jewel tones. Too much white. We're going to go ahead and... yeah, like that. We'll come back here in a minute and build that up. I want to kind of build in my shadow area. Darken it slowly as we go. We don't want to overdo it. We don't want to underdo it. Now there is such a thing as overworking an area with acrylic inks. Gotta be a little bit careful on this because for the most part, you can get away with doing a lot of layers. But the more water heavy you get, you can oversaturate the paper. And depending on what kind of paper you're using will determine how saturated you'll be allowed to go. Now, luckily I'm using this thick WaterColor Canson paper, but that allows me to get pretty darn wet with things before I start having issues. But if you're using another kind of paper or a lighter, thinner, heavier, lighter stock, a lighter weight watercolor paper will not allow you to go quite as dark. So it's just one of those little things you need to keep in the back of your mind when you're working with these, is that you can overwork it very easily. So that's where a blow dryer will come in. If you feel like you're overworking a section, hit it with a blow dryer, dry it out really well, then you can come back over it again. And you can add another layer or two. Now we got the purple and we got the red blended here. Now we're gonna come in with the indigo and drive in our shadows. And before we do that, I'm gonna follow my own advice. We're gonna hit this with a blow dryer real fast. Oh, he's cooing outside. He is barking. Oh, let me inside. I'm done. I went to the bathroom. He's gotta be the only dog who thinks being outside is a punishment. Or being outside for too long is like, I didn't do anything wrong. Let me back in. I want the air conditioner. Perfect day outside for him. Most dogs would not complain about being outside in 55, 60 degree weather. I think that's exactly where they want to be. But no, not my dog. His bed is not outside. His bed is inside. He wants back in. We'll let him in just a second. We're close to being finished here, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna finish this off, and then he can come inside after that. Okay. Little bit here on this. That's for the most part. I don't need to add any more, but we're gonna add just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. Okay. Like so. Pretty darn happy with it. Now, this is definitely another one of those pieces that initially I was kind of like, oh, I'm not sure what I'm doing, but I'm just going to keep working it and something cool will come out of it. And sure enough, I am very glad I kept working this piece because it turned out pretty awesome. And we're going to do that here on this channel. You're never going to see me halfway through a drawing or halfway through a sketch. You're never going to see me just toss it aside and start all over again. I'm not going to do that on this channel. On this channel, we're going to keep working a piece all the way to the end. You know, and the reality is some pieces may not look the best when I'm finishing them. This is just, we'll chalk it off to a learning curve. Some things work, some things don't. And eventually, we'll have a very clear idea of what things actually do work and don't. The more you fail, the more you succeed. That's the motto, kind of. It's I think we've talked about it before on this channel, and every artist out there has got a closet of failed ideas. And the bigger your closet of failed ideas gets, the better artist you will be for those successes. So if on this channel, if we're doing a drawing that's not going the way we want it to, that's fine. It is completely allowed. Failure is 100% allowed on this channel. We will fail so that we may learn. All right, got the rivets are done. All I got left to do is some highlights on those eyes, guys. And we will be chalking this one up to finished. Let's go in here and get some good highlight brush. Right here, we want a red. No, just more white. Okay. Boy, he's having a fit outside. Just in here. I don't think you guys can hear it. But my greyhound's name, by the way, is Chubbs, which is an ironic name for him. His handler at the racetrack nicknamed him Chubbs. And Chubb, he's far from it. We got him. He looked like a bodybuilder. He was so ripped and so skinny, like you could see his veins bulging through his fur. It was pretty awe-inspiring to see how tough he looked. But his handler at the racetrack, a young kid, just to be ironic, nicknamed him Chubbs, and the name stuck. So it was not his real name, but his track nickname was Chubbs. And so when we got him, we were told about it, and we just kept it as his actual name. We love the idea of Chubbs. But he is far from fat. He is a very thin greyhound. But he not overly thrilled with being outside right now. He's a gorgeous example of a greyhound. They make some of the most amazing pets greyhounds do. Cool. Oh, white down here, just a little bit. I got some great jeweled eyes. What do you think of those? Those look pretty awesome, don't they? The white right there. And the last detail we need to go is add those little white highlights all the way around the shadow lines here on this. Guys, we're just about done here. We're on the final stretch. A few minor details left to add. That'll be it for this piece. Okay. Well, I realized I forgot to add my highlights right in here. So we're gonna take a little red, a little white, and we're gonna add a few little I hear you, Chubbs. I'm coming. I'll be out there in a second. About every 3-4 minutes I hear, oh, he's in the back door. He wants to come back in. Daddy, outside is not for the dogs. Hey, looking good. We'll touch up right. Oop. Red, white. Okay. Suit of armor. That is today's. A robot in a suit of armor. Right here, let's sign this sucker. I'm also going to do the brushwork border, I think, on this one. Okay. Little scratchy here. I don't typically make a straight line. Not to say that I ever won't, but it's just a little character I like to add to the piece right in here. Yeah, like so. That is all she wrote. It's time to peel and reveal, guys. Yeah. And now my phone's ringing another time, and there is absolutely no devices ringing right now. It's the strangest thing. Pretty sure that one is a scam call. Okay, here we go, guys. We're gonna peel, reveal, and check out the final result. While we're doing this, I want to go ahead and remind everybody, this is the day one of me, that the contest entry forms are now up on my website. We're about to click over 100 subscribers. Super excited. This should be the week we do it. So if you'd like to go ahead and fill out an entry form for the contest, we will be giving away Rusty from episode number 23 of my live streams. I will show you in a second what that looks like if you haven't seen it. It will be a giveaway piece. You have until Sunday, April 10th to enter for the drawing. In order to win, you must be a subscriber to this channel, as it's a celebration of us hitting our first 100 subscribers. I encourage everybody to at least reach down below. If you've already subscribed to the channel and you're already going to plan on entering, reach down below, hit that thumbs up. Let me know that you found my channel. You want to give me a little handout with that algorithm thingy that YouTube does. But yeah, thank you everybody who has subscribed to my channel. I appreciate every last one of you guys. And leave me comments. Let me know what you think of the piece. Let me know this piece or other pieces. But yeah, subscribe to the channel. Head over there to stinkyrobotart.com. Website is right there. It's also linked down below. If you have right there on the homepage, you'll find the entry form. Appreciate everybody for showing up and for subscribing to the channel. And this is it. Before we switch screens, I will show you one last time that this is the giveaway piece. That's pretty awesome. This is the giveaway piece. He's called Rusty. He's pretty much my Stinky Robot mascot. My wife absolutely fell in love with him, so he's just become our unofficial Stinky Robot mascot. That is Rusty. It was episode number 23. If you want to watch me create him, go back and watch episode 23. But yep, he will be our first giveaway piece. You have till Sunday, April 10th to enter, and I will draw live next Monday on this live stream. We'll do a live drawing for the winner. So guys, I wish you the best of luck on that. But let's switch over here and talk about this one. We're all finished up. And that is it. What do you guys think? You guys like it? Love it? Hate it? I'd love to know your opinions on this piece. Leave me comments down below. And thank you so much for showing up to today's live stream, guys. You guys are all fantastic. I love and appreciate every one of you guys. So tomorrow, we will see you at 11:30 tomorrow. Again, we'll talk about a little bit more tomorrow, but we are changing next week's times a little bit. So we'll see you tomorrow on the live stream. We'll talk about it then. Guys, love you.